Yeah, just talking about the Europa League. If you were to end up in it next season, would you embrace the opportunity to go for it and have the prestige of being back in Europe, or would you be concerned about what it might potentially mean in terms of going for the title? Because you just mentioned how difficult that Sunday.
Since I'm in England, I only played the European League once. We went to the final. That was good. Besides the final, but last night I saw a United team enjoying a lot the European League. So no, if you're in Europe, it depends obviously which competition, which round, what's the circumstance around. But it was always like this. But we will not think, oh my God, now we have to play that. No, that's a great competition. But in the moment, I didn't think it through to the end, because I know even when it's not likely, I believe in the little chance as well. So let's give it a try and think about the rest after the season.
Yes. So I think you said last week you needed to win all your games, but you think 5 wins would get you there?
No, 5 wins will not be enough. For sure not. It depends on how the other teams play, obviously. But without 5 wins, we don't have a chance. So as long as we are not 15 points behind and 3 games to go or 4 games to go, why should we write it off? So United thinks they can still become champion, rightly so. So then we think we still can go to the Champions League, but we all need then results in other games. We know that. Without winning your own games, you will go nowhere. So we are not that naive, but it's just we don't think like that. It's now we just have 1 game to go, and this is the most important game of the season. We play against United on the weekend, so let's go with all you have. Don't think about anything else, and make sure you play your best game.
Terrific. Okay, Chris next, and then Paul, and then Dave. Chris.
Hi, Jurgen. You could actually, by winning, give City the title this weekend. I just wonder, in normal circumstances, you'd look at the league table and see a huge gap between yourselves and City, but will you just have a completely different analysis after these last 5 games because of this season? It's been such a different season. I mean, if it was a normal year, you might look at the gap and think we've got a long way to go, but will you look at it very differently because there's been so many freakish things about the last 8 months?
Yeah, how I said before, for different reasons, we are not that naive. So we know we have to improve. We know some things happened. We know it was not a year where we would become champion. If we want to become champion, we have to be perfect. We were not perfect. The circumstances were not perfect. Nothing was perfect, actually. And so it was not that we did become champion or don't become champion. It was really clear pretty early. It's because we know our source, our resources inside. So that's not a problem, because you cannot become every year champion or stuff like that. City will not be every year champion, even when they have pretty good perspective. But no, we know that if only the players come back, we will be better immediately. So we have a much better rhythm. We have much better. It's not about the centre halves who are then in and the others are out. Not about that, because meanwhile we do quite well, especially when Ozan and Nate could play together. That was absolutely fine. But we had to work too long and on too many different things over the year, which we had absolutely no influence on. It's like you lose players a day before the game, 2 days before the game. You lose them for 1 week, for 5 weeks, for the rest of the season. Other teams have similar problems. I only talk about us. I know that for us it was really, really harsh. So, but let's imagine that doesn't happen every year. Then we have a better basis. Different problems, but really different problems than the normal football problems. In that moment, we are immediately stronger again, because we didn't forget how to play football. But things, especially negative things, lead to other negative things from time to time. And that happened to us. In the beginning, we scored, even without the last line we were used to, but we scored goals in the right moment, stuff like this. We were still there. Then we had to put the midfielders in the defense. Then we lost not only the last line, we lost now the midfield as well, the stability there. And then we stopped scoring, and that's all done. And then you have to reinvent yourself pretty much new. and that during a season is not to recommend. Let me say it like this, because you play constantly games and you are influenced by the results and all these kind of things. So it is a tough one. It was a tough one, but it's not over, and we will go for everything what is out there for us. And I don't know in a moment what that will be, but we will try to get it.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. Paul, and then Dave, and then we'll go to the Sundays. Paul.
Jurgen, you mentioned about knowing your own resources in the answer then. I think it would be more difficult to overhaul City again. You've already done it once. Do you think the task becomes harder?
Oh, it always becomes harder, because obviously City never stops. That's, I think that's clear. They didn't stop, and they will not stop. But even they had 2 years in a row, they had us in the neck. So probably, and okay, 1 year we were then ahead of them. We never expected that to happen for the next 10 years now in a row. United is coming up, definitely. Everybody can see that. Chelsea is obviously in a brilliant place. A top squad. I said it before when I said the squad he inherits is a present, and you can see that they are obviously really good. So it will not get easier. We always speak then about only City, but there will be other teams. There will be other teams for sure. We have to deal with, plus all the other teams which are, even when they are outstandingly strong, still a little bit can sail a little bit. Not sure how to say that, in the shadow, if you want. Sorry?
Under the radar.
Sail under the radar. Sorry. Like Leicester. Brilliant manager, obviously, top, really good squad, dealing with different situations really bad. So they are not gone or whatever. Nobody should write off Tottenham, nobody should write off Arsenal. Obviously, West Ham is now flying and all these kind of things. So how can it be easier? So, but it's not only City. The good thing about Manchester City is you only face them twice. If you go far in cup competitions, then it might be more often, but in the league only twice. And so you have to win all the other games as well. So, and that's tough enough in this league. But that's next year, and who cares about that in a moment? We will give our absolute everything then again. But now we are concentrated on Sunday.
Thank you. Okay, Dave Maddock for the final question, Dave, and then we'll go to the Sundays.
And I'm just wondering how much it actually hurts you and the players, and whether you've seen that, because like this weekend it's a huge weekend for City and United. That if you beat Manchester United, then City can win the title. But both of them are involved in huge semi-finals either side of this weekend, and your only involvement in all of that is very peripheral. And I just wonder how much that hurts, given the belief that you've got in your team and what you've achieved.
Yeah, but I think that would be really weak. If we are responsible for the things that happened to us. We were in the last few years constantly in some semi-finals and finals and stuff like this, fighting for the league title. So I don't know if other teams then felt bad because of us. I wish for them not, and I don't do that. I'm not like this. I'm not a person like this. They deserve the situation they are in. That's football. That's fair. They won an awful lot of games. United turned the game around last night. Did that now already like 20 times this year. So and that's it. We will challenge them again next year. But this year we can only play our season, finish our season as good as somehow possible. And we have nothing to do, obviously, with semi-finals and finals. We know that, but I don't feel bad because of that. I had my bad moments during the season for other reasons, but not because other teams are winning more games than us. That's not my problem. I have only a problem with the opponent of the weekend, the specific weekend, and not have no look at the table and think, oh my God, City again, United back on track, all these kind of things. Life is too short for these kind of